And now it's Thursday. Welcome back. Good morning. 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm still asleep. I can guarantee you that. I've been probably at my girlfriend's or not girlfriend, fiance. Been at my fiance's house for a week now because it's Thursday. And I've been resting. I guarantee you I've been resting. It's a stressful season for everybody. But, we get through it for the ones we love. And to remember, obviously, why we celebrate Christmas. I've been contemplating whether or not to do. I don't want to skip around in the Bible because I like the idea of doing it in order. But I know, like, for Christmas, there's a whole nother lesson that we need to know. So if you don't, know Christianity, or if you haven't read the Bible, you probably don't know why we celebrate Christmas. So I've been thinking about what I could do in place of skipping around in the Bible, so I don't have to like go to a different book and then come back to Genesis, and it's like inconsistent with the story. I'm thinking of maybe doing a live stream with my fiance on Christmas if I have the time. But if anybody has any ideas, please let me know. I'm open to any suggestions. I just really want to incorporate Christmas into a video in some way. So if you have any ideas, let me know. I know it's already the 21st when this one goes up, so sorry about the short notice. But for me, I still have 15 days until Christmas. So I'm, still trying to plan it ahead. All right, so we're finishing chapter 32. Like I said in yesterday's video, short story, but a very interesting one. Jacob wrestles with God. That night Jacob got up and took his 2 wives, his 2 female servants, and his 11 sons, and crossed the ford of the Jabbok. After he had sent them across the stream, he sent over all his possessions. So Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him till daybreak. When the man saw that he could not overpower him, he touched the socket of Jacob's hip, so that his hip was wrenched as he wrestled with the man. Wrenched, maybe dislocated. Maybe that's a different interpretation. That I could ask Kai, see if she has a different word in her. What does she have? The New Living Translation? Because wrenched is a different word that we don't really use nowadays. But I think it's like he dislocated his hip. Then the man said, "Let me go, for it is daybreak." But Jacob replied, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." The man asked him, "What is your name?" "Jacob," he answered. Then the man said, "Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, because you have struggled with God and with humans and have overcome." Jacob said, "Please tell me your name." But he replied, "Why do you ask my name?" Then he blessed him there. So Jacob called the place Peniel, saying, "It is because I saw God face to face, and yet my life was spared." The sun rose above him as he passed Peniel, and he was limping because of his hip. Therefore, to this day, the Israelites do not eat the tendon attached to the socket of the hip, because the socket of Jacob's hip was touched near the tendon. So, literally wrestling with God for a whole night. Now, obviously, God is not putting his full power behind it because there wouldn't even be a contest. But just because Jacob wrestled with him, he was blessed. But why do we think that it's important that God touched his hip? When the man saw that he could not overpower him. See, that's an interesting verse there, because obviously God is all powerful. But verse 25 says, when the man saw that he could not overpower him, he touched the socket of Jacob's hip, so that his hip was wrenched as he wrestled with the man. Please let me know what you think about that one, because that to me is very confusing. How is he not able to overpower him? Or was it just a lesson and he was able to overpower him? Because I believe that he could have overpowered him if he really wanted to. But it's very interesting. So Jacob's name was changed to Israel. And then the next interesting part that, I find the stories interesting that I can't figure out, or at least like a common sense version of like being able to figure something out. So with that part that I hadn't even thought of, that's interesting to me now. But then this one is when Jacob asks his name And then God replies, "Why do you ask my name?" And then without any further conversation, he blesses him. And then that's it. He leaves, and Jacob calls it Peniel because he saw God face to face, and yet he was spared. So I just find that interesting. You know, like why would God say, "Why do you ask my name"? You know, is it like supposed to let us know that it doesn't matter what the name of people who we have respect for in terms of like wrestling or in other ways? Oh, Solo's making an appearance. Hey, buddy. What's going on? Did you go for a walk? Yeah, you just got back, didn't you? All right. So yeah, it's just very interesting to me to read that and not have any explanation for it yet. But please let me know. Hopefully everybody's getting ready for the Christmas weekend, and I am too. Like I said, resting, getting ready for all the craziness of family time, which is with every family. And yeah, I should be back tomorrow. And then this was a little bit of a break in the story for Jacob and Esau, but now we're going back tomorrow. We will go back to Jacob and Esau. So have a good rest of your day, and we will start reading about that tomorrow.